Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and we got yet another update for 915 PTR drop-in today. It's worth noting that this update is actually quite small, which I think could mean a lot of things. One, it looks like a lot of the class changes and a lot of the design changes are mostly finished with, but second, potentially we could be having this patch 915 drop in on live servers very soon. We have a few events in-game happening all at the same time, and those events would be a perfect time to drop this new patch, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. As always, most of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed. You might as well hit subscribe. You're watching these videos either way. Subscribe, hit the bell to be notified on any 9.5 updates on the channel. Anyway, let's dive into these updates. Starting off with the class updates, we just got one. Mages, primarily those playing PvP, with the Triune Ward Legendary, which is the most popular legendary for mages for PvP, will be reduced in value, going from 50% PvP reduction down to 35% PvP reduction. Triune Ward is a legendary that allows the mage to benefit from 3 absorbs of all 3 specs. So whenever you pop your own absorb, like for Arcane Mage it's Prismatic Barrier, you gain the Frost Mage Absorb Shield as well as the Fire Mage Absorb Shield with all their benefits. All these 3 shields get a reduced value on them when you apply, but 3 shields together is better than 1 shield either way. So in PvP, it's an invaluable legendary, especially since you have conduits that give you healing every time you absorb damage with your shields. On my mage, that's not super fully PvP geared, with about 20% versatility or so, the Prismatic Barrier, which is the Arcane Mage Absorb, absorbs about 7,000 damage. The Fire Absorb is going to absorb for about the same, and the Frost Absorb does slightly more than the other two. However, when I engage into PvP situations, those shields go down to 5,200 absorb. At least that's from Arcane Shield and the Fire Shield, while the Frost Shield is of course going to be a little bit bigger than the others. Mages are generally pretty tanky with this legendary, and it's kind of like a must-have for PvP. From our testing, the guys believe that this is a better change and does make mages actually something that you can crack through. Blizzard did say they want to make the game deadlier instead of defensive, so this is going to be a pretty big defensive toolkit for mages getting gutted. Do you like this nerf? Do you dislike it? Do you think Blizzard should maybe nerf this even further to make the shields weaker, or do you think this is too much and they're just gonna end up killing mages in PvP? Let me know in the comments. Next, we have new Nightborne customizations finally added in the game. Last video we talked about how they're adding glowing hands effect for Nightborne, and today we get to test it out. The effect was a little bit too subtle for me. It's really difficult to tell if they have the glowy hands or not, and if you're wearing any kind of gloves, it is impossible to tell if the effect is even applied. But I do like it that if you do have glowing hands, which is only available for female Nightborne for now, the tattoos that cover your hands do light up and you can see them a lot easier. However, I do think these could be improved. I think it's a good step forward, and they did say that this is a work in progress. They're still messing with it. This isn't the final thing, and potentially they could add even more customizations in the future. But for the hand effect, I think they need to first brighten it up so you can see it a lot easier, and second, add that Legion outline effect that just about every single cool piece of gear and weapon have. The outline effect that some of the mounts, some of the shoulder pieces, helms, it's a very unique to Legion that they never really redid for future expansions. It kind of leaves a subtle outline of an item depending on which angle you look at it. And if they were to apply it for the hands, it'd be far easier to see that there's this arcane glow. And if it was like this Legion outline effect that they had back then, I think it'd be very reminiscent and appropriate to add it to the Nightborne, which were added back in Legion. Either way, this is still really cool, and I do wonder what other customizations they'll add for other allied races. They just took a crack at some of the Legion ones. I wonder what they'll end up doing with some of the Battle for Azeroth allied races, because they did add quite a few back then. Maybe we'll see something like that for potential time walking for Battle for Azeroth. Then we got some Mage Tower updates, and I really wish this was Mage Tower being released for testing in 9.15, but instead we have some smaller updates like achievements. They added achievements for completing a single challenge of the Mage Tower, completing a Mage Tower of one of every character to unlock all the different challenges, and also one on every single spec in the game, a Tower Overwhelming. This one is going to be a long-term achievement, and with time walking being a reoccurring event, I don't think a lot of players are going to be able to speedrun through this in the first 2 weeks that Legion time walking is going to be available. Some players might be able to if you have the gear on your character, but it is something that's a long-term goal for players to look forward to every time Legion time walking is available. I think it's good that they added some of the achievements, some of the prestige and reward out of it in order to complete every single challenge on every single spec. Overall, I'm just excited to play the Mage Tower as soon as it's available. One of the rewards of the Mage Tower is to complete every one of the challenges. So I think there's like 7 different challenges depending on your spec and playstyle and role, and one of the rewards is going to be a Spell Tome. The Spell Tome actually was added into PTR. Soaring Spell Tome animation, the book itself looks fantastic. How our character sits on it is still a work in progress, I believe. But it does look really good, and I wonder if they'll end up fiddling with it in the future. But the Spell Tome is in the game. It is something you can look at, but not something you can earn just yet, since again, the Mage Tower is still closed. Some of the other smaller updates we have for PTR is ability for you to link transmog sets in the chat. I don't really need to explain to anybody why this is a good update, but transmogs is something that everybody does. We all go back to older raids and dungeons and try to come up with unique looks, and now we're able to share those unique looks and transmogs far easier. It's not like we really had easy ways of sharing it. Previously, we had to link every single piece of gear separately to a friend or something, but now we can just set a full list and they can see what the mog looks like and try to see if they might be able to wear it for their character. Another update they have, which I don't really consider an update, is them removing some emotes and adding new ones. So at this point, we're really past all the important big updates that are available for 9.15. Another question is, are we getting this patch soon? Because at this point, they're not really doing any major updates if emotes is their concern. And it looks like we do have some things that are overlapping very soon. One, our characters are about to reach Renown 80. This is the Renown level you need before you can even swap Covenants around. That is one of the prerequisites available over on PTR. Currently, our characters are Renown 74, which means that only in a few weeks we'll be able to be Renown 80. We can literally count down the weeks until we get there. So that would be perfect is the day we reach Renown 80, we are able to utilize the Renown catch-up mechanics as well as the Covenant swapping on our old characters as well. Also in November, it's going to be the World of Warcraft anniversary. Previously on WoW, they had the time walking for Legion planned around the 2nd of November. It wasn't anything confirmed, and since then they've shuffled the date around, whether it is something on PTR or maybe they just didn't want to give it away to anybody. But a lot of players noticed that the 2nd would line up perfectly with the day we get 80 Renown, which is in October. Depending on EU or NA, for NA it will be October 19th. And 2 weeks afterwards would be when the Mage Tower as well as Legion Time Walking would be open. Of course, Blizzard would need to give us a little bit of time to level up our characters. We're talking about the Mage Tower returning. Some players would need to level a new character, and with leveling 9.15 improvements, it will be faster. Be able to choose a Covenant and boost that Covenant as quickly as possible. And again, in 9.15, 2 weeks ahead of the Mage Tower, it'll be the perfect time to do it. But also gear that character out, and again, catch-up benefits are coming out in 9.15 to gear out our characters so that we might be able to have the gear to even attempt the Mage Tower challenge once it's available during time walking. As I'm making this video, we have zero confirmation on when 9.15 will be available, but that's as best of a speculation that I have. We'll find out, I guess, in the next few weeks, but thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Join our Discord community in the description as well, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.